Alright, you want to see a little trick? These cameras here find differences in temperature. So if we do the following, we can create a difference in temperature. Just for an example, a few seconds here, same wall. Let's take a look. Beautiful, eh? What it's doing is picking up the surface temperature that my hand has transferred to the wall. This translates to with termites, or anything for that matter, is that when the surface temperature is different to what the camera is picking up as a normality, it will show up on the camera. Now, heat shows up as an orangey sort of red in this setting I've got it on now. Moisture will show up as it shows up as a dark blue. Now I have sprayed here recently. I wonder if there's still some able to be seen here. In the dark blue there, some of my spray from earlier on. It's around the base plate. Still has not yet dried. But I'll give you a really cool example, just to check it out a bit further, okay? What we'll do here, create a bit of moisture, a few little drops here, and then we'll find those few drops with our thermal. How powerful this is. See it on the camera? Blue little specks here. That is the little water droplet that I just created. Let's have a look a bit closer. Blue one right there. We'll put the red dot on it so we can see. Well, we're not getting a red dot here. So point it right at that section. A bit closer where the water is. Pretty cool. So inside of roof, when the aircon is dripping, just that tiny little bit will show up on these amazing little cameras. And most of the time, camera looks a bit bleak, it doesn't show much until we find something like we did before. Now some of you might be asking, oi, that's a big red glow right there. Actually, the speakers, so they are both the speakers on either side, most of that one not showing up, will not be turned on. So this one here is turned on, so it's showing heat from the electricity source. Same with the power unit on top of it. Now we possibly will see any downlights or anything like this, so anything that's still turned on will have a heat source, like the phone. You'll see heat source there. Interesting thing too is if we put our little red dot right in the center of that heat, now it will tell us exactly what the heat is in here. So we're talking in the top right hand corner of the camera is 31.2. Outside of it, we're going to go down 29, surface temperature 28. It is a pretty warm day in here and a bit steamy, so could be why we're getting that bit of heat. But an interesting thing is when we're looking at the computers or anything with this camera, we see the difference in heat source, see things overheating or underheating or anything. Really neat for termites. Now, remember before we showed you that heat transfer in the wall? We'll do it again just as a quick test. So this is our wall. At the moment, nothing, because it's no temperature difference. But we'll put our trusty hand on it again. Our thermal camera. All this is doing is showing a surface temperature difference. What that translates into with timber in the wall, where we've got timber stud or framework, we can see the timber inside the wall. It's because the timber is creating a difference in temperature, possibly a cooler difference in temperature than what the surface level temperature of the gyprock is. It's really, really cool because the termites, if they were there, would be using those timber to move through the walls. And if there's enough of them there, we can see that difference in temperature or something's happening to the timber, and we can look a bit further. It's not the be all and end all of this system, but it's a very good indicator of something to look at a bit further within a wall. And you see here, I just look, oh, what's that big orange dot? They've got a sensory alarm system here, if you can see. Pretty cool to pick up. And you always look at something on a camera and you think, what could that possibly be that's normal? So we're looking at those types of things as well, trying to identify what is or what isn't, what shouldn't be there. And you see this one here is interesting because the rest of the wall does not look like the top bit here, where we've got this arch that's coming down. I think I know what that is, but we have to take a bit more of a look because it could also be moisture. Always thinking of things that we need to take a bit more of a look at. And this place has had a bit of termite damage in the past, so I like to make sure we have a good look here. There's some limitations of a camera. We're not seeing through a cupboard. We can't actually see right the way through it. It's surface temperature. That's what we're trying to get, surface temperature. We're not an X-ray machine. It's not some magical device. It just assists us and helps us look a bit further if we see something in there that doesn't look right. Another tool in the toolbox. There's a couple more limitations to this device. A lot of people don't know this. Let's look at a bathroom. We got one here, bathroom. With the camera here, it won't look at tiles or reflective surface. When you've got floor to ceiling tiles, all it will do is give a reflection of the heat coming off my own body or whatever's in front of that surface. So right now we can't see anything behind this wall. So what we need to do is go on the other side of the wall where it is not fully tiled and look from that way and use our other tools of the trade and inspection methods to inspect this bathroom. A very, very cool device. Pretty cool, looks cool too. Big open here. The brand I use is Hick Micro. Got a backwards wording here. The reason I use this brand is for the pricing of it. It's cost effective for what we use it for. The other models out there are upwards of 20 or 30,000, whereas this sits around the 4,000 mark. We are at the lower end, but not the cheapest in the world still, but very needed for our industry. Personally, I wouldn't have an inspection from anyone without this device. You be the judge. You're paying for an expert. How can they do their job without the right tools? We will go back through this place again with this device. I just wanted to have show you guys a quick squiz of it and why we use this particular brand and this model. The other thing is the tapper. People now say that I hear it all the time. You're just tapping away with the stick. How can you see termites with this? Well, two things. When I'm using this stick, I'm using a torch normally, and it forces me to look at an area in great detail rather than just tapping around. A torch is extremely important, and you can see quite a lot of what I call a difference in timber. So you start at one end and it looks different somewhere along the line, you'll look a bit closer. The other thing is that when this tapper strikes a bit of timber that's a bit soft or sounds different to what the other side of the timber is, that's what we're actually looking for. And the camera's good, but this stick, if you can tap every timber in the house, you would be feeling very comfortable. You just can't get to every timber. As you can see here, a bench top with a melamite board behind it. We won't be able to get to the timber behind that, so it's a part that gets missed. A little bit scary in this particular place, whereas we got a kitchen sitting on the inside here at what I would call ground level. Let's have a quick look on the outside here. See how ground level changes? It's very tight, so the outside is higher than the inside, and the inside is a high risk area with two kitchenette sinks here with two water sources. So the termites can come on the inside of this timber, or they can still come from the outside through the brickwork and blockwork, but we won't be able to see it from the outside. We can only do what we can from the inside, so looking in the cupboards, using a thermal camera, and we'll have to use some movement sensors as well. Even this particular cupboard is really tricky. And now we can't actually get to the back corner at all. There's no access to it. So when your inspector puts down on the inspection that they haven't been able to see certain areas, we have to let you know, because you're expecting us to see everything, and when we can't, we need to inform you so you're aware of what we couldn't see and what areas we couldn't get into. So possibly next time you could allow us access into that area. You could make some access. You could do a lot of things to help us out, and how will you know without us telling you? So that's a bit about me today. We're about done for the day. We'll keep going and do our inspection of the rest of the rest. So I hope you've learned a little bit about our inspection methods, what to expect from your termite guy, what he's looking for, what he's using the tools for. You're probably wondering why I'm a bit red today. This is change in weather. I get a bit of eczema from all of the pollen in the air. But we'll keep cracking on today, get this job done. It's another school for the first day of the school holidays, get this out of the way for them. And then their cleaners can come through in a couple of weeks. Thanks guys, see you, bye. Have a good holiday, Merry Christmas.